Alrighty. So it appears I've finally gotten news from current job hunting events, and I fear I have found something out. I found out that I can already begin doing parts for my education career. I can already begin doing that because how far I am in my career. Okay, so that appears all of this event, all of this trouble was reasonably finished with security. Obviously, I've got 1.5 years of security experience. Now, all of a sudden, I have a pretty good potential of receiving a job at one of the schools that I used to went to. Yeah, I didn't expect to hear that from myself either, but you know what? It is what it is, and I'll take what I can get. But what I really am shocked about is that I've gotten news of what had happened with the person that had created the false accusations. They eventually proved her accusations to be 100% false. So not only was I let off the hook, but I received an actual apology from both the company I worked for and the company that worked for the company I worked for. So I was shocked because honestly, they're like, "We're so sorry. We did not mean to immediately accuse you." And I just said innocent until proven guilty, and I left the email. And that's what you should do. When you have situations like these, always say innocent until proven guilty. Because what this is going to do is it's going to teach them that they can't just throw people out because they feel that they did this or they are told that they presumably did this. The woman didn't even have clear evidence. Number two, on top of this, is that she never even said my full name. So it was obvious something was going on and it wasn't truthful. But finally, the good news about this all is that even with everything else, I now have an ability to get a job at a school and begin my education career. That this is why we continue when everything seems bad. When everything seems bad, you gotta continue because there are opportunities that people miss in their lives because they just give up at one point. And I myself also am accusatory for this type of thing. I've also done this before. I've also had to do some research on that, but I will say this. The main reason why I'm making this video is because I'm going to start doing two things. I'm going to start working at my new job, which is Monday through Friday. I get Saturday and Sundays off. So I practically can get days off. And if there's a lot of snow, I also get the day off. That is the key takeaway in this situation. The fact that I can get days off when the school gets off. And not only that, but I'm going to be making more money than I do right now. So that is the key takeaway from this moment is that sure, I'm going to be a teacher, but I'm doing what I need, what I want to do, and I'm going to be getting decent money for it. So at both ends, I see it as a win. At both ends, I see it as an absolute win. I get more money and I do something I more enjoy than security. So it just makes sense as to why. But I will also say this. Even though the situation got bad for me, it got really bad for the person that accused me. Oh, Lord have mercy. Because I was the one they wrongfully accused, I got to hear all of the news flashes from the incident. And if I recall, the first news flash, not even 2 hours after that, I received a text saying that I was completely in the free, I was completely 100% innocent, and they now had full evidence to prove it. So I'm pretty much good. It won't go on my record. And what's funny enough is that a false conviction will go on her record, and there's worse to come. And that's not for me, that's for the person that falsely accused me. For what she's done, how do I say this? She falsely accused, she started making things up, and at the end of the day, they caught her. They caught her in a dead set lie, and then they asked her, how much else are you lying? And then from what I heard from my old supervisor, she finally admitted to saying, you know what, yeah, I made up all those accusations against him. He didn't do anything wrong. I just did it because I don't like him. This is the difference between a man and a woman. A woman, in this situation, did exactly as you would expect. She based it off of her emotions rather than actual intelligence. And as a result, the guy gets removed, and then eventually, oh, he wasn't guilty at this at all. And most people even knew I was innocent. So it's at the same time, what did she think she was gonna? Who did she think she was trying to fool? That's what I don't understand still, is that people think that they can fool anybody given enough time or enough credit or whatever. They think that they can fool everybody. But this is a situation where it tremendously backfired. And in a way that really destroyed her life. Not only did it go on her record, but it's, from what I've been told, she now has a criminal record, and the two companies are both suing her for literal disturbing the peace and the safety of the workers, considering she just removed one of their most hardest working security officers. She just made everything worse. And now that there's nobody to enforce those rules that's willing to go that mile, they said already they're having people just outright say, no, I'm not going to follow your rules. And at the time, I was like, I told y'all what would happen. I said exactly what would happen in this situation. Chaos would ensue because there's no one forcing the rules. It's like, I don't understand why people are like, oh, that won't happen. Oh, as long as I hear that. It's like people forget. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. The first place I worked at for security had a similar incident where I had to leave. Just not being accused and being forced to leave. I chose to leave the first place. But that should give a pretty good look at it on the fact that this is something that could have been avoided had people looked into it more before just saying, okay, remove him from the property. And considering everything that I've been through, it wouldn't have been worth, because at the end of the day, I would have left them anyway, especially after what they did in this situation, especially after what they did. I'm not going to say that they did anything wrong, but they portrayed the situation as if I was 100% guilty rather than actually looking at the evidence. So I was like, you know what? If you guys feel that I'm so wrong, then I'll just leave. I'll take my things and I'll leave. Thing is, though, that backfired on them because they realized I was not guilty. When everything came out, they found, oh, he was telling the truth the whole time. Oh. Well, Dylan, this new job, I've not gotten it yet, but I'm trying to see if I can get it. But I can say for the first time, you know where this is at. I know you know where this is at. But I'm gonna say, if I do get this job, That is where exactly I'll be working. Whatever this did, this should teach you a valuable lesson about life. Is that for every bad thing that happens, there's something you can do to make it good. Because she did this to me, my career got sped up by 3 years because of what she did. I've now sped up my career for 3 whole years. So the last few years I've been looking in at uh, college and trying to get those classes done. I've just got so much farther in my career by this little screw up than the last years of me studying. That's a very big to me. That's a very big leap because teachers need a requirement like, oh, you need to either have teaching before, or oh, you need to have ways to deal with people. And then when you see someone that worked in security before they started working in the school district, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this guy right here, he's good. Get this guy in, and we'll fix it up from here. That's the key takeaway from most of them is that they will. Yeah, really. There's a listing in Springfield Middle School that shows that they're asking for assistance, and I managed to score one of the possibilities. I gotta finish the rest of the application. But if they accept it and ask for an interview, yeah, actually, kind of like a it's weird because it's not a substitute teacher, but it's not to the point where it's an aide. It's weird. It's kind of like like an aide, a teacher's aide, but they're not a student teacher. The student teacher is in the process of learning how to become a teacher. Student aid is a different concept here. It's kind of like you remember those kids when we were in high school that always tried to help the teacher, but they weren't in college or they weren't going into education. That's those kids. That's what it is. It's that simple. If the teacher asks for something, you go get it. And funny enough, it pays more than any security. Yeah, it pays more than any security guard job that I've ever been to. And that's base level I'm talking about. Looking at my experience with the security company, they're probably going to try to increase that money. Or I could probably find a way to get them to increase it. So I might not even be getting just 16. I might get 1650 or even 17. That's the cool thing about this is that because I now have work experience and it's in a field that teachers have like a recommended section for, I can actually do this. Not only that, but I meet all the requirements, both age and once they get through background checks after I submit the application, they're going to notice nothing's there. There's going to be nothing for them to scan because I don't have a background because I didn't never done anything wrong. So this is what a lesson. Yeah, the main goal about this, Dylan, is look at what happened to me and look at the outcome. It was a good outcome. The reason why it was a good outcome was because I stayed positive. I continued on my way and I stayed on the right track. I didn't buckle off and bend off the track. I continued on the same track that I've been using. And as a result, I've just gotten 3 years ahead of everybody else in my career. That's important. So I want this to be a very important lesson that this teaches you is that sometimes bad things happen in order for good things to come into your life. Because you can't have something good if there's nothing bad. and you can't have nothing bad if there's some if you can't have something bad if there's nothing good. Yeah, as I've said, I'm just shocked that this happened, but especially with what I could be doing now, I could increase the speed of my career for 3 whole years, and that's a long time. Like nearly a full degree worth of years. That's crazy to think about. That means not only would I have experience in a classroom, but I would also have teachers saying, "Oh yeah, no, this guy worked for me for a handful of years. He was pretty good, a really good guy." All of a sudden, I now have a teaching job, and I'm hoping that with how things are going in the teaching market, I'm trying to see if I can go to Springfield Middle School and teach right there at the same school that I used to go to. It's to me, it's like I still can't believe out of everything that's happened. I was like, I can't believe how much faster things have evolved for me. And again, it's because I did have complaints, but I fixed the situation because yeah, I fixed the situation because I kept on the right path. Yeah, I just this news flash definitely came in as a surprise because I looked up at jobs for Indeed and I found someone had. Yes, I've seen that one. I think I have that template. I think I have that meme template. Yeah, I think I do have that meme template. The one where they're talking about Subway sandwiches. Imagine it was $1 5 foot long. That'd be hilarious. This is like a 5 foot sandwich. And not only that, is it like a 5 foot sandwich, but it only costs $1. Yeah. I also talked with one of my boxing buddies, and there is a possibility, well, more of like a 50-50 chance at this point that I might take a fifth boxing match. This boxing match is going to be important because from what I've heard, the person that I'm going to be up against is like number 2. So I got to figure out the basis of which to do this. Yeah, I know what video you're talking about. That's the thing. I know exactly what video you're talking about. No, I'm not a welterweight. For a good portion of time, I was in heavyweight. And as of right now, I'm in cruiserweight, which is like 180 to 200 pounds. It's in that range where you're not too heavy, but you're also not too light. You're in that sweet spot, especially for someone that's like, there's a specific weight class that you have to be in. And if you are the proper weight, just think, if I was shorter, Dylan, I would definitely be in welterweight. But because if you didn't know this, the square cube law. You know what you know what that is, right? The square cube law. For every inch in height, you will around increase approximately 3 inches of skin and approximately 9 inches of interior. Meaning is, me only being 2 inches taller than you, I have 4 inches of extra skin. That doesn't sound like a lot, but this is about an inch. So generally, and it's not just in one area, it's in all around the body. So even if I don't exactly look like I'm 191 pounds, I can easily be something around 200. And it's just because my limbs are longer and I just have overall a lighter mass. And it's just a lot of things that have to be taken to an account in boxing. Is the weight is a definite importance. And yeah, I'm in cruiserweight category now. I was in heavyweight, but I didn't stay there for very long because it kept tiring me out way too much. I couldn't be a heavyweight if it's gonna constantly force me to eat like 5,000 calories. I can't do that shit. I just can't do 5,000. 4,000 I can easily do because I do it almost every day. It's not like it's so basically for me it's just nothing changed other than I start training for boxing for cruiserweight category. When I first started, yeah, I wore the boxing helmet the first time. Second time I didn't because I've got a sturdy neck. Look at yeah, my neck is sturdy. It's like I have a sturdy neck. I didn't realize this, but my neck is larger. This is not as big as my neck. And I'm going to say this, this is not much. I can't even fixate. Look at this. I can't even reach my neck. And if I recall, when my hands touched, this was how big. My neck is bigger than this. I have a big neck. Why do I need a helmet when I could just take it and go, ha ha, you did nothing. Yeah, it's like as I say, I got a big neck. So it's like, why do I need a boxing helmet if my neck's bigger than Tyson's? Oh yeah, by the way, they did measure my neck. It's bigger than Mike Tyson's. No, are you kidding me? I physically punch those bags with my bare hands. And at worst, I get cuts. I don't even get injured bones. I don't get fractured nothing. I just get cuts. And even then, they're not anywhere enough to cause bleeding. I've got thick skin and I've got thick bones, and that is because of my family bloodline. And that's another thing about boxing is that it's also about the methodology that you use. It's not just about the tactics that are used, but you also got to learn the specific style. And the one I used first it was more like this, like I was using the jabs and I was continuously like jab and then I move back. Now I don't use that tactic. Because I'm one of the larger guys in the cruiserweight, guess what I get to do? I get to do the ultimate. If you know what this is, you can type it. You got to tell me which famous boxer uses this stance. Then you got up and down. Then you've got all that cool stuff. Which famous boxer used that? I'll tell you, I'll give you a clue. He's got a lisp, and as of right now, he's in his 50s. I'll give you a hint. Well, you're close, but you're not there. This guy that uses the same tactic that I use has fought Ray Jones Jr. More recently. So I'll give you a hint. I'll give you one more demonstration, just to show. The thing is let's see, did you get it? There you go. That's how you do it. Yep, Mike Tyson. And he always teaches, keep your arms to your sides, head down, and then switching it out. And now when he uses the tactic, he always uses it. In this situation, I can do a lot of things. I can uppercut, I can do a normal jab, or I could do a side and a combo. And it's because of how he uses the tactic. It's because of the peekaboo style, which was trained with Cus D'Amato. This tactic is extremely useful. And I must also say that punching power does not equivalent to size. I have seen guys that are twice my size go into a boxing ring and hit with like 600 pounds of force no matter how hard they try. I've seen dudes like that. And I've seen myself be able to punch significantly greater than that. And it's all towards how you move your body weight. And as I say, it's all about Tyson's movement was all about the body. More fertly, the core. If your upper body is built properly, you should be able to do just about everything just fine. Damn, I can't see when you type shit. Yeah, I remember when Lego used to make board games. Those days were cool. I'll say what, those were the best days of Lego because that was fun. But as I say, the best defenses for this is, you know how Tyson always kept doing this? And the reason why he did that was because watch my head when I look at the screen and I look back, watch. You can't hit my head because neck, body, and if I'm moving, look, if I hit right there, let's say I do that, you can't hit me. You can't hit me because my head's always moving. And then down, around. See what I mean? You can't hit me. Yeah. But I've recently managed to, in the cruiserweight, I've seen people hit really hard, but it's because they're going very fast. I didn't know the secret power. Yes. And someone asked me, why do you use the peekaboo? Why do you use Mike Tyson's ultimate strategy? I said, because it works well with me. If I'm bulky boned, I can't just move around fast. Like the fastest I can move is this. I can't exactly move very fast unless I have the snap. And this is why no matter how hard I throw it, I can't throw it fast. But as you saw back there, it was a little blip. Yet somehow I can't punch like that. And that's the key thing, is using your body and basically creating an efficient chain through your hand. I think with recent punching power estimates, I have a presumed punching power of 1,100 pounds of force, and that's because of a wide variety of things, but two major key things: the efficiency of the punch, because the shoulder snap is a very big one. When you and most people make this big mistake when they throw punches. And I'm very certain, even I did this when I was first beginning, because I did this. I kept doing this. It's like, yeah, it's good for jabbing, but what's going to happen when someone gets close to you? Well, the first thing you want to do is this. You can't hit me from the side of my face. With the big ass boxing gloves, you can't hit me anywhere here. So that means if I duck my head down, get in route, you can't hit me. No matter how hard you try, you can't hit me. Number two is always watch the person's body. So if they try to come in like this, or they try to come in swinging, and let's say that, there's a difference between this, and this. One you can clearly see, and one you can't so much. I don't remember. I don't remember the boxer's name. I'm gonna have to look that up. I need to know who that is. Yeah. And as I say, it doesn't just teach you about boxing when you do this. It teaches discipline, it teaches self-respect, and it teaches a lot of other things that you normally wouldn't learn from normal circumstances. And the reason why I did it was because I had to deal with so many other people at the old security place. But now, because I have clear days off that I can easily use to my advantage, I no longer have to worry about that. So I'm, as I've said, I'm probably going to figure this out. Hmm, I didn't know that. But yeah, the best person to ever use this tactic is Mike Tyson. I'm just going to say it. He uses it so well. But what terrifies people is that he did it because he was short and stocky. Sure, you can be tall and use this tactic. And especially when you're looking down, you'll look right at them and you'll be able to not be hit. So for me, it's a win win. I can look at them while I'm in a defensive position. And when I punch, I can look at them and see what the reaction is. Doc, oh no. Come on, Matt. Have you seen the corrupted version of that game? It's hilarious. Duck this one. He just completely sends the dude to the atmosphere. That's funny. Sends the guy straight up into the stratosphere because, oh, Doc decided to end this man's whole career. Why? Like, Doc, why? You ended this man. Why did you do this? Duck this one. It just completely breaks the game. And yeah, that's boxing for you. And that's the thing is that most people forget that when they punch, they're gonna do this. They're always gonna do this, or gonna do stupid shit. But no, if you do like this, you're not gonna get hit from one side, and you do it from the other, you're not gonna get hit from the other. And there's a reason why we lean on close to this shoulder, the shoulder that you're hitting, is that we do this because it is an efficient transfer of energy. It's not where if you stuck your arm out like this, it has to go up through this way. But when you do it like this, it is a clear shot out the body. That's why you will always see me punch like this, but never like this, because there's no energy connection. Even if there's a difference between getting hit by a bad punch like this and getting hit by something like that. And trust me, there's a difference. I just had to look at the camera. Just dang, it's like I wonder. It's like one of these days. Like what? Like funny noise? Goofy on noise. It is a goofy on noise. I remember seeing. Yeah, I do remember seeing your review of the Nexus Pro. I also got one more message to say. I can re-invite you back to the server that we've got, because now we're just doing it to screw around. Oh, what the? Are they just gonna start putting bullets in those guns? It's they're just gonna put bullets in those guns at this point. One more thing. I have the ability to invite you back to the server. The key thing is that I have the ability to invite you. We're gonna start. We've already started doing some really weird streams where I just stream a game and people watch, or stream game and then we do some funny stuff. And yeah, as I've said, we have the ability to stream, and I'm either going to do it today or I'm going to do it tomorrow. And there's going to be a gaming stream, and I'm hoping to see if my editor and hopefully a couple other people come in. And as I said, I want you to at least enter the server, because that way I can do. Yeah, let me let me get to the part where I can send the invites, if it'll let me. Here we go. There. You have now just been invited into the server. Yeah. Let me just add you a role. Because you are someone that can, I know you personally, I'll give you the role of the guy that can start events. And because of, let me tell you this, I've got the game that I'm going to eventually be streaming is a Star Wars game. So this is going to be it's down our alley. And not only that, but it's kind of like an older Star Wars game, but I've got mods to make it much more nicer looking and much more modern. Oh, so I don't know what else to say other than we still kept those. We've not even removed the channel. They're still there. Well, the good news about this at least is now that you're back in the server, I wonder if I can actually try it and do. Uh, my editor's not on. Yeah, I just looked at the last rule you posted. Rule 629. This is where your story ends. Like, wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold up. I just. Well, appears the stream is no longer needed because we've got everything else needed to get to. So I shall end the stream. And if you want, Dylan, if you are still paying attention to the stream, if you want, I've got potential to just start up a stream anyway, just to show you what this is all about. So I saw what you posted in the meme zone. I saw that Donkey Kong with bananas, and I know exactly what's gonna happen. Ooh, these are pretty good bananas, but as I've said,